We are going to get more reaction on Nike earnings. We have Sam Poser joining us. He is senior research analyst at Sterne, Agee Leach. He's joining us on the phone. Sam is one of the most accurate analysts in the sporting goods field, by the way, and he has a buy rating on Nike. Sam, let me get your reaction to the results here. I mean, basically in line with estimates is what we're seeing, although revenue coming up a bit short at $5.08 billion.
Yeah, I mean, compared to, based on our numbers, I mean, I think the U.S. came in slightly lighter than what we expected, and Western Europe came in slightly lighter than what we expected. However, I mean, they ended up being a little more aggressive in the marketing, but which drove some additional SG&A, but the gross margin was very, very strong. Inventory levels are down 13%, and they have $4.5 billion in net cash. So, I mean, they're managing what they're doing very, very well. And you mentioned with the World Cup going on right now, they decided not to be a primary sponsor, but I think they're clearly first of mind by most, as a brand, other than the title sponsors, because they're targeting their marketing, I think, more directly than some of the others.
It is interesting. I mean, we saw a survey come out this morning saying that Nike was the most visible sporting goods maker at the World Cup, although they're not a primary sponsor, as you point out. How do they do it? I mean, what are they doing with marketing to get this strong effect?
Well, I think they did the same thing at the Olympics as well. They're very focused on knowing who their customers are and being first having a large share of mind and share of voice within those specific customers. While as a sponsor, you're hitting a much broader swath where people may not be paying as much attention. So because they're getting in front of their primary customers and this constituency, you might say, that seems to be benefiting them quite significantly.
Sam, let me ask you, go back to the Europe numbers and the sales numbers that we're seeing in terms of Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Central Europe. I mean, are you seeing then any significant impact of the turmoil, if you will, regarding the sovereign debt situation over in Europe?
I think that's hard to say. I mean, with the people we've spoken to in a lot of Western Europe, there's certainly those issues going on, but I mean, it doesn't help. But it sounds like business over there is holding on pretty well. I mean, actually, Eastern and Central Europe did better than what we expected. Mm-hmm. But the real story, for growth for these guys is the U.S. business continuing to be up, and they really have a huge share in the U.S. business, but the driving growth in the emerging markets as well as the greater China market, where we expect to see some significant growth for some time to come.
Sam, just got about 10 seconds left here. You've got a buy. You've got a price target of 85. It trades about 72. Closed today at 72. What gets us? What's the catalyst to get us to 85?
Well, I think we have to hear what they have to say on the call. And the reason, I think the catalyst is really, is continuing to execute and to really get that, stoke that growth in those markets I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. I think it's...
okay.
I really think that's the story there.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Hey, Sam, thank you so much breaking down those Nike earnings.